Guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto. This is the show we do live 9:30 Eastern every single weekday to bring you the latest on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, technical, on-chain, and fundamental analysis and metrics. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how long this rally will last. If you haven't noticed and you've been sleeping under a rock, Bitcoin has actually started to perform relatively well. It's currently sitting at $47,000 and is sitting in a symmetrical triangle pattern that has a price target pushing up to 52. If we are able to get up to $52,000 on Bitcoin, get up to about $4,000 on Ethereum, about 160 to 162 on Cardano, we could very easily see the beginning of a rally that would take cryptocurrency all the way back to all-time high. But if we are not able to utilize this very, very special opportunity correctly, we could see a major correction, as this could still all be just a bull trap. So we're going to be discussing how long will this cryptocurrency rally last? Are we going to need a major correction? And how can we make the most out of it? It's going to be a great show. Make sure to check out all the links in the description. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social medias. But I am also joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, T.A. Tam. How you doing, Tam?
What's up, everybody? I'm feeling good today. It's a good day. You know, I need to get back on it, though, with Smay. We need to get back to those 5:30 workouts. Afternoon workouts just don't hit the same.
No, to be honest with you, I'll speak when
you'll talk. Yeah, you'll talk when it's time.
Yeah.
Let us know in chat what you think. Do you guys like the morning workouts? Do you like the evening workouts, the afternoon? Or do you just have the perfect body that never needs physical fitness ever?
That's Smay, actually. Speaking of Smay, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'll be honest with you guys. We've been weenies. We've been some real weenies lately. We haven't been going to the gym in the mornings.
Yeah.
It's been like a week now, and it's pretty weenie level. And you know, it's the accountability of the people on this channel that drive us to continue to push. So you know, we're gonna try to get back on it. But those early morning workouts are tough, man.
Those early morning workouts, they're tough to get started. But I've found that if you can get past the first 10 minutes in an early morning workout, they're a beautiful thing.
It's the
because
best
then you end up feeling incredible the whole day.
Oh, exactly.
I haven't been to the gym in 2 months.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get engaged and married.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully going back relatively soon.
Well,
but
that's why you get the you end up getting the married bod, dude. That's what happens.
The married bod. No.
Dude, every friend I had that has gotten married has gained a ton of weight since.
That's their fault. They can figure out how to work out at home.
Well, of course, but it just happens. Like you just said.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna let it happen. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to keep myself in shape, or at least I'm gonna try. Guys, we got a great show lined up for you today. We're very much looking forward to blessing you. One of the ways we want to bless you is by reminding you that Club DeFi is not, well, it was yesterday taking signups for the early access. There were 200 seats. We filled up 500 within the first 24 hours. We're going to talk here in a second about some other FAQs that you guys asked. I've gone and made sure that I can give you the proper answer as handed down by our team to some of those questions. We're going to get to that later, but if you're excited for Club DeFi, drop a like on the stream. We're going to be going ahead and jumping into a market pulse and looking at a couple of news articles. We're going to run through this pretty quickly here. Whoa.
I almost forgot to do the most important thing in this entire show.
You did forget.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh, Smay.
This is
full screen.
I'm ashamed.
That's what happens when you don't work out in the morning.
That's true.
I'm ashamed, quite frankly.
Get fog brain.
But I need to write this wrong, and I'm going to write it by singing the song. You ready? Dennis Bizarka, Cryptopher, Crypto Alchemist, and Crypto Sec Guy, Grand Roofing Incorporated, Elliot Locke, and Silver Dollar Match C, and Silver Dollar again, and Mike Markle, and Grand Roofing Incorporated, and Silver Dollar. Wow, it's all the same people saying things over and over again. Let me scroll up, see if I find one more. Why You Loud, and Elliot Locke and Crypto Alchemist again. Good grief. Tom Wilkes, there we are. Here's some more green names. Love you guys. You are the best, and you'll never be the same because you're always improving and better because you believe in Kaizen and growing and being better all the time. And I love you.
The next Luke Combs, ladies and gentlemen. The next Luke Combs. I've been listening to Luke Combs a lot.
It's like his songs write themselves.
Yeah, it's like the songs write themselves.
Yeah, it's really.
Do you know the song "Doing This," Smay? By Luke
Doing
Combs?
This?
Yeah.
No.
Still be doing this. That is a good song. I bet you could sing it really well.
Maybe.
You know,
to be
somebody.
honest, I watched it back and I didn't think it was very good at all. But everyone,
Yeah, you know, somebody in chat said, Jebb, you better be careful. You might lose somebody to a record deal. So that's a high praise.
Absolutely true.
That's true. I might. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I understand. I'll keep my eye out for that. No,
well, what's his name? Daniel D. Nava said it's made to do a southern accent for the rest of the stream. I don't know if I could do that.
Do a southern accent for the rest of the stream.
All right, let's get.
We've all got hidden southern accents. We're all from the South. Well, Smay, you were actually born in West Virginia, weren't you?
Yeah. Well,
Tim, were you born in Virginia?
I'm born in Virginia.
That's
okay. Well, I'm the only Southern boy down here. Well, technically Virginia's Southern.
West Virginia is kind of functionally South, but we didn't side with the South, if you know what I mean.
It's Appalachian.
Yeah.
It's Appalachian.
They're
Anyway.
pretenders.
Anywho, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into a market rundown. There are a couple of really interesting articles here. Nothing that we're going to go into super detail on, but just a couple updates that you guys might find helpful. Kraken users reported Bitcoin Lightning Network availability. In 2020, Kraken announced that they were going to be bringing Lightning Network online for their exchange, and they were talking to implement it in 2021. They are now seeing customers of Kraken, users of Kraken, start to report that Lightning Network runs on that Lightning Network is functional on Kraken. So anyone using Kraken, check out these withdrawals. You can see the Bitcoin network and the Lightning Network. So if you're doing small transactions, not a bad idea to try and give this a use. Lightning Network is something I've been loosely following the development of for over 4 years. There are a lot of skeptics of it, but if it ends up turning into the layer 2 scalability solution that we would all like, it could turn Bitcoin into, it could completely change Bitcoin's destiny from becoming a store of value asset class to actually being able to be properly used for small transactions and payments that are able to be remitted in a matter of seconds rather than in a matter of dozens of minutes, lowering transactional fees, clearing up the Bitcoin blockchain, which cannot really be scaled. So if this does end up working well on Kraken, this could be a next step in the future adoption of Lightning. Lightning has grown very slowly over the last 4 years, but it will continue to grow, and this could be one of those things that in 10 years we'll be using every single day, and these are just the early stages of it. So this is a pretty interesting article. Another thing I want to show you is the Terra Luna founder, Do Kwon, claims to become the largest Bitcoin holder. So just a little bit of cryptocurrency trivia for you. Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he, she, or they are, they hold about 1 million Bitcoin worth. At the time of recording this, well, you just take the price and you add billion to the end of it. So it's worth $46 billion. So there is a lot of value there. However, Do Kwon wants to become the second largest Bitcoin holder after Satoshi Nakamoto, bigger than the exchanges, by continuously purchasing Bitcoin for building reserves for the UST stablecoin. He really wants to maintain massive reserves for UST. If you don't know what UST is, it is United States Tether, United States dollar, Terra USD, excuse me. Yeah. I'm confusing my terms because they both got very similar names. It's Terra USD, which is the stablecoin that runs on the decentralized stablecoin, algorithmic stablecoin network, which is Terra Luna. So that's actually really cool. Looks like we're going to see a lot of buying pressure. He's already announced that he wants to purchase up to $10 billion. $10 billion worth of buying pressure could definitely help to catapult Bitcoin in the right direction. Another article here. Bitcoin 2022, which we will be at. By the way, I think there are still tickets linked in the description box down below. Yes. If you're a last-minute traveler, April 5th, we'll be driving down after the stream down to Miami, and April 6th through 9th, we will be at the Miami Bitcoin 22 event. Bitcoin 2022 is going to be hosting a mining event, and we're actually a media partner with Bitcoin 2022. So make sure to check out Bitcoin 2022. Pretty solid event. It's the largest by attendance event in the cryptocurrency space. And if you're there, I look forward to shaking your hand. So let's go ahead and look over at CoinMarketCap. Right now, Bitcoin is trading just over $47,000. Actually, it just dropped below $47,000 at the time of when I'm saying this, $46,950. We're going to talk about the chart here in a little bit, but just remember, in the last 7 days, we're up 11.5%. Ethereum's up 15%. Binance Coin up 9%. Cardano up 16%. Solana up 25%. Bringing some slang in there. I call Cardano my amazing Cardano. I just call it Dono. So I almost called the same thing for Solana, but you don't give nicknames to projects you don't like all that much and that you're not invested in, right? So I'm sorry, Solana was the proper terminology there. Avalanche up 9%. DOT up 9%. Dogecoin even up 16%. Dogecoin is an interesting metric for the sentiment in the market. Dogecoin, as time goes on and it maintains this large market capitalization, actually kind of solidifies itself up here in the top 20 just because it is basically a cryptocurrency that its only value is community. Now, I hear what people have said about, oh, but the utility that's being built on Dogecoin. First of all, Dogecoin will never be able to compete with the likes of Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, or Bitcoin for anything that those projects are capable of. So it can do whatever it wants, but it's going to get out competed. It is, however, dominant in community and meme culture, which is a very big part of cryptocurrency. cryptocurrency. So I think that Dogecoin will maintain $1 billion market capitalization probably forever. I wouldn't say it's a good investment though, and I certainly wouldn't look at any of the other meme coins as an investment, because Dogecoin in the meme coin space is probably going to be a winner-take-all kind of thing. There's a reason you don't see hardly any competitors with payments and long-term store of value asset cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin in the top 10. They're all competing for the utility landscape because Bitcoin already won the long-term store of value dominance in this industry. So that's my take on the current markets. Thing I wanted to mention about Dogecoin is that if it's up 15%, a lot of times that means that people are feeling more safe, they're feeling more risky, so they're willing to be a little bit more discretionary and throw some money at some projects that they might literally know are just jokes. It goes to show that people are starting to have more confidence in the Bitcoin market, and that leads us to the question, will Bitcoin be able to continue this crypto rally? Well, let's do a brief recap. I'm going to run through this quickly because I've done this at the beginning of every stream. March 14th, Bitcoin was at $37,000, started rallying. It is now up to $47,000. In 16 days, it has added 25%, $10,000 in market cap, $10,000 in price, and a couple $100 billion in market capitalization. Make no mistake, this is a gigantic move on Bitcoin. A lot of people are scoffing at this, saying, Bitcoin's at 47. Okay, whatever. Bitcoin was at 69 before. Yeah, well, let's also look at some of the things that happened before. If you want to compare to 6 months ago, then let's compare to 3 years ago. Compared to 3 years ago, which is about 1,000 days, Bitcoin was trading at $4,700. It is up 1,000% in 3 years. So just remember, the fact that it is able to rally from 37 to 47 is spectacular and phenomenal in its own right. That being said, there is an argument to be made that Bitcoin needs a correction here. Looking at TD Sequential, we will see that Bitcoin has been overextended on TD Sequential ever since the 22nd of March. Now that tells us two things. One, it tells us that the bulls are very strong right now because they were able to ignore the 9 flash. However, it also tells us something else. It tells us that the market does more than likely need a correction because we've run so far in one direction for a while. So that's one of the big questions we're going to be asking in this stream is Bitcoin about to have a correction and cool off and then regroup for a new rally? Or is it just going to continue and blaze new trails all the way up to $52,000? Well, I want to ask Tim that question, and then we're going to do some analysis. Tim, do you think that Bitcoin is going to correct over the next 3 to 5 days, or do you think it's just going to continue on its upward march as it already has here in the month of March?
Yeah, I mean, so you see this bend down that's going on right now. I think that one of two things can happen. Either it's going to correct down now and come back down to 46 or maybe even 45,000, setting up bullish RSI divergence, then using that former resistance as support and go back up, or it's going to rally and it's going to come back up and then it's going to come back down later. Here's what you do need to know though is it's okay, not a surety, not a sure thing. There is always the chance, there's always the possibility that something just goes ahead and explodes. But just so you guys know how markets usually move, resistance is usually retested for support once it's broken through. So whether it does it now or it does it later, it's probably going to happen. And again, here's an example of the delay kind of being semi negative, although we still hit all-time high. Going back to what we had last summer, this top right here, this level of about 41,000 was the top level of our accumulation phase during the summer of 2021. We barely broke through it, broke down below, but once we confidently broke through it, look at all that we had to do before we finally came back down and tested it. This was something, and I'll go ahead and put a line right there just so I can go ahead and make my point here. This is something that a lot of people said, oh, is it going to happen right here? Is it going to happen right here? Is it going to happen right here with these dips? It didn't happen. We had to go a couple of weeks, come back down. People question, oh no, was the bull rally over? But then it finally did use that former resistance as support and rallied to our all-time high. So just so you know, whether we do it fast forwarding to now, and I can get rid of that yellow line because it's now not important for what I'm trying to say, I believe we're going to touch down at least to that 46, if not 45. The question is, do we do it now? Do we go up a little more and then come back down? Do we go up for maybe an entire month and then come back and touch it? And at that point, people are going to start freaking out. But one way or another, it would probably be very healthy for Bitcoin and should be expected. We should see 46,000 happen again.
I think that would be very healthy because when Bitcoin rallies this quickly without a correction, even though I think Bitcoin should be trading in at least the 50,000 range right now based on its fundamentals and the sentiment. Even though it should be trading up there, it's healthy for Bitcoin to have corrections. Now, during times of rally, I use an analogy that I think has been very helpful for people over the years. I've been telling people this for literally about 3.5 years. The Forest Service discovered in the 1950s, 40s, I want to say, the United States, may have been later than that, that whenever you stop fires, and you'll see where I'm going with this, whenever you stop fires in a national park and you don't let any fires happen and you stop any kind of forest fires, if a lightning strike happens, you put that fire out immediately. If you don't let a forest burn every once in a while, what happens is that all the dead trees, all the detritus, all of the ground debris builds up and up and up and up and up. And then when you go through a period of 2 or 3 weeks with no rain and lightning strikes, you have a tinderbox and the whole forest will go up in the worst fire that forest may have seen in decades, centuries. It's why forests normally are very healthy when you don't mess with them. They're self-regulating systems. Forest fires are actually a very important part of the health of the forest ecosystem. So whenever you try to stop a forest fire from happening, then the forest does not maintain its health because there's so much dead stuff there that has not been disposed of through a fire. That's why ever since 70 years ago, you'll see different people that own forests that is not like pines that they planted, but they own forests. What they do is they do controlled burns. If you've ever been out in a wildlife conservation area, you'll see the burn, burn breaks. I forget exactly what they're called, but you have about a 30-foot wide place where the fire can't reach. It's because you do controlled burns to keep the forest healthy. What does this have to do with cryptocurrency? Well, in cryptocurrency, it's the same thing. Whenever you build a massive rally and you don't go through any corrections, then you have a lot of very weak investors that are just riding for the gains, and the moment something bad happens, they'll sell. You have a lot of you don't build a lot of support on the way up. You end up building a very weak rally when you rally very quickly. It's as if you tried to build a 100-story skyscraper and you didn't put a foundation in it, and you decide, we're going to do it without steel. We're just going to build it with, dirt. You're going to build this skyscraper, and it might last a little while, but as you're building, it's going to fall over because you didn't put the proper support in. So just like in the forest, we need to have a controlled burn. Just in Bitcoin, we need to have our corrections so that we can more healthily build the rally. Over the course of hundreds of years, if there are controlled burns, the forest will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow into a very healthy forest. But if you don't let those controlled burns happen, then you're going to have problems. So with that said, what does Bitcoin need? Bitcoin has just instituted the largest rally that it has seen in quite some time. In 16 and a half days, we've rallied 27%. Now, we did see something similar happen over here. In 14 days, we rallied 33%. This rally had a whole lot to do with short squeezes and the fact that people were so bearish that the bears, on the other hand, did not have their controlled burn, and this was the major rally that followed because the bears never had a correction with the bulls. The bears never had their controlled burn is what happened here. So the burn got a little out of hand for the bears and we had a big old rally. What we need to do right now is we need to realize this is a pretty big rally that Bitcoin's going under. We're talking nearly $250 billion in values flown in. Bitcoin has just broken some major highs. The bulls might be getting a little bit exhausted. They need to take a breather. They might need to sit out of the game for 5 or 10 minutes. They might just need to let their body recover. The bulls need to give a break to themselves. So with that said, can Bitcoin just rally and moonshot up to $52, $54, $56, $60,000? And could it do it healthily? Yes, it absolutely could. What's more likely is that unless we have a major FOMO event and we have a massive influx of new money coming into the space, Bitcoin probably needs and very well may have a couple of days of consolidation here, which, by the way, remember the analogy, would be very healthy for Bitcoin because it's like a controlled burn. It helps to reset everything. If we do have a small correction, I would like to see that correction go no lower than 42,000. But keep in mind, if it goes to 42,000, that's not a bad thing. You know why? Because that would be a new high that is, let's see here, $4,000 higher than its previous low when these lows were only a couple $100 higher than their previous. So a correction down to $42,000 would be very healthy. And quite frankly, I hope we correct down to $42,000 and then continue rallying, because what we're going to do is we're going to build a much more stable foundation for this rally. And we will probably allow this rally to last longer before a major fire comes through, completely and totally ravages the forest. And then the forest has to be rebuilt in the form of a massive correction because we rallied so quickly. The larger the rally, the larger the correction. If instead you have smaller rallies followed by smaller corrections, then you can stair-step your way up. But if you go straight to the moon, you're going to come right back down. If you need proof of that, look no farther than the rally at the end of 2017 when Bitcoin moonshot to $20,000 from $3,000 in the span of just a few months. It rallied 1,000% in 155 days, and then it dropped 70% in just 50. It did that because it did not rally slowly and steadily. It didn't have enough controlled burns, so it crashed, and a lot of people got burned. No pun intended. Tim, what do you think about that analogy? Is that helpful, and do you agree that Bitcoin would be most healthy if it first corrected to 42?
So 42 is where I might potentially say I don't know if I necessarily agree. It could. 42 could happen. I think though 45 again, retesting the top level, because that's what I talked about, is we didn't flirt with the top level of resistance. We broke through it, and we broke through it with actually a lot of confidence. If you're looking at the 4-hourly chart and the hourly chart, we hesitated at it for a second. You can go to my chart real quick, Smay. Right there, that top level, we got up here and then kind of went sideways and then boom, broke through, and we went straight through not only it, but we also went through 46. So that's why I'm saying, you know, those key levels, and they're not just chart levels, they're psychological levels. 46,000 has been a psychological barrier ever since early January. So the fact that we broke above it, a lot of people are going to say, oof, I've been tired. I've been buying down low. Even though I want to do some things long term, I'm going to take some profit somewhere, let it come back down. That's my level I want to buy back in and then keep going. So 46 is there. The top level of all the closes on the 4-hourly chart hit right here around $45,000. That's why I think, technically speaking, while you have the psychological barrier of 46, you have the technical barrier, that resistance line at 45, which it could come back down, come all the way, have a wick touch that, and be a great buying point for a lot of people and go up. 42 could happen. I'm not saying it won't, but right now my eyes are more fixated on the psychological level of support and then the technical level of support.
Yeah, there you go. And I think the important takeaway here is, remember, corrections are healthy. So let's go ahead and take a look at what would happen if Bitcoin were to have a correction down to 42, 44, 45. Could it hold that support? Well, I think it's important to look back on history. Part of the reason why I'm totally fine with Bitcoin having a correction down to 42 and why I think it might be healthy is because 42 is a previous all-time high. We set it as an all-time high January 7th of 2021. If we corrected and backtested to 42, set that as support, then we've basically just proven that a previous all-time high is support. We could have done something similar with $20,000. We just never needed to go back to 20K because we were so bullish. But when you set a previous all-time high as a new level of support, that's a very strong thing. Bitcoin even did that back in, I believe it would be 2016. Bitcoin backtested its previous all-time high of $1,200, and then it used it as, actually, I take that back. We never backtested. We just broke through it and then pulled back only to 2,000 when the previous all-time high was 1,200. But the point is, when you backtest a level of support, it normally can be a very helpful and healthy thing. So what I want to see is, what is the support like around 42 to 45, depending on where exactly we could potentially retrace to? Well, the first thing I want to show you is Lux Algo. Lux Algo, I just want to be very clear on this, would still be bullish and would still be under a strong buy signal if we corrected down to 42. I do not think, based on my extensive use of Lux Algo, that this would cause an invalidation of the Lux Algo buy signal. I just don't think a small week or two correction down to 42K would come with a confirmed sell signal, which is good, because if it did, I would listen to that and take that very seriously. Even on the 3-daily chart, I don't think that would happen, because a pullback down to $42,000 would barely be below the trend catcher, so we would almost certainly hold 42. And if we only pull back to 44 or 45, then yes, absolutely, we would still be under a strong Lux Algo buy signal. So that means that Lux Algo would be saying that the trend would not be over if we pulled back to, at the extreme, 42,000. By the way, $42,000 is also the bottom that we set in September and the high we set in June. Now, the other thing I want to show you is VPVR, because remember, one of the things that's been very healthy over the last couple of months is that we've been building massive VPVR support down here at these levels between $30,000 and $45,000. In fact, the VPVR maximum for the last year and a half is at $39,000. So according to VPVR, Bitcoin will get its strongest support at 39K, which means that even if we drop down to 39K, VPVR would basically argue that Bitcoin would still be okay and would still have a rally. So I don't even think that if we drop down to 39, which I'm not calling for, but even if we drop down to 39, I think we would still be all right. So that's my take on the matter. Smay, let me ask you the final question of this segment before we move into Super Chats. Do you think that we are starting to get out of the turtle market? Do you think we're actually starting to go into a new rally? Or is this all just wishful thinking and we need to be more patient?
Well, gee, I hope so.
No. You just got Minnesota.
Gee, I hope so.
No,
that was not
like you're
South.
from Michigan.
No, I know. But so to be honest with you guys, it's hard to tell, but I would be honest with you. I'm being really honest, because I said that like 4 times in a row, just so you know. I'm being really honest with you guys.
Okay, wow.
I see this actually, the interest is starting to come back. I feel it. I think we're on our way out. I think that we're barreling towards that light at the end of the tunnel. I think we're going to break out of this turtle market here within the next 2 to 3 months. And I think it's going to be a great time. Now, that being said, if you weren't accumulating down here, You need to start. You need to
Yeah.
start dollar cost averaging and getting, because here's the thing about it, guys. Everyone wants it to rally, right? Everyone wants the price to go back up, right? But here's the problem. It goes back up, and now the amount that you bought, you're in the green, and it looks like a great little number for you. But now here's the problem. You buy more, you're buying it at a more expensive price, and now you're not getting as much, over time, you're not really getting as much profits. That's why these downtrends, you guys gotta be excited for the downtrends. You gotta be excited for the turtle markets, because this is a great time to just start filling your bags, because then once it finally does rally, you're gonna be sitting a lot prettier than you were if you just wanted it to rally all the time. So that's why I would say, while we're in this area, whether or not it breaks this turtle market or not, I would say in this moment, I would definitely continue to be accumulating dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Because that's your best strategy in a point where you really don't 100% know, but it's really looking bullish at this point. And that's why I'm saying the best thing you can do is start getting the ship loaded, getting the car packed for your vacation, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so very much for that, Smay. Guys, we're going to move into a period of super chats now. We got several of them, but I want to read, just for the safety of our audience, a chat here. Remo Rooney said, warning to all Jebb fans, there is Jebb videos being used for scams. The video is real, but they ask you to send crypto is fake. Be careful. Jebb's crew will never ask you to send crypto or send you. Absolutely right. Now, for some of our products, we will be taking Bitcoin as payment, but we will never say, hey, give us 1 Bitcoin, we'll give you 2 back. Give us 0.1 Bitcoin, we'll give you 0.2 back. That is a scam. Literally nobody ever does that. If you ever see that, it is a scam. That's just like a law of nature. That's a law in crypto. If somebody says, give me X and I'll give you X times 2, it's a scam. Stay away from it. We're getting big enough that people are now using me, I guess, with those fake videos, so don't fall for it. Yeah. Remember that there are many ways to verify whether it's me or not, through Twitter, through YouTube, etc.
Yeah, if you're ever in doubt, email our support team, support@cryptojebb.com. But yeah, we don't take people's Bitcoin and give them back too.
No, that doesn't happen.
Not one of our ploys.
By the way, guys, smash the like button. Let's see if we can't get to 600 likes in the next couple of minutes. Thank you so very much for all your support, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Sometimes you get into the flow of the show and you forget that like button even exists.
Yeah.
I think a lot of viewers do that sometimes. You guys just got so sucked in that you forgot that there's a thumbs up.
It's just such a good show. They forgot.
I feel something right now.
Okay. What do you feel?
I feel.
What happened to the Southern accent?
Okay. Yeah. What about the Southern accent?
I'm not doing the Southern accent.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
I thought you were.
I have a feeling. I just saw you.
Got a feeling.
This is a Tinder moment. I need quiet.
Tinder swindler.
Listen, I saw you. We just said, hey, hit the like button. And you thought, I don't need to do that. Everyone else did. Look at me in my eyes. I saw you think about it for a second and then stop doing it. You need to stop what you're doing and realize that it is the strength in numbers.
Yes.
You matter when you hit the like button. Well, all the time. That sounded bad. You matter all the time. It just...
What the heck?
Your
worth comes from hitting the like button.
No, your like button... Here, let me say it like this.
Their like button.
Your hitting of the like button is significant.
Oh my gosh.
So please, stop.
This is on par with your clan comment yesterday.
Oh gosh, let's not bring that up.
Hit the like button. And that's what I'm saying. I'm disrupting the show right now.
That's true.
So you have an opportunity that you're not missing content to hit the like button.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hit the like
You're not
button.
missing content. Go
Thank
for
you.
it.
Gosh. All right, here we go. Elliot Locke said, Lunar rundown if you get a minute, and morning workouts are better for me. Gets the blood pumping to wake up and get going for the whole day. Yeah, I agree. Elliot, when you get your head off the pillow, it doesn't feel like that, but I don't think I've ever regretted after the workout. Like, I don't think I've ever left a morning workout and been like, yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Fair enough. I agree. I agree with that.
All right, you guys, I'm going to say this name correctly.
Okay.
Good.
Ewan Kenobi.
You got it.
Can I get the applause, please? Please. Thank you. I
You
needed
should have just done the crickets. That would have been so fun.
Ewan Kenobi. I'm so sorry, Ewan. I've said your name. I've butchered it so many times. Band name, Crypto Jebb and the Technicals.
Crypto Jebb and the Technicals.
That's our.
Okay.
There we go. Corey said, "Morning, fellows. Tips the cowboy hat. You guys seeing the run Zalika is going on, and Vet is finally showing some life. What are your thoughts? Have a great day."
I have Vet is a project I've been following. The former comment, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He said something about the Cowboys. Is that a player on the Cowboys
No,
or a
he's just
crypto
tipping
project?
his. He's
I
just
really
tipping
don't know.
his. I think he's wearing a cowboy. He's tipping his cowboy hat.
I
think
see,
it has something
Good day,
to do
lady.
with the country music at the beginning.
G'day, mate.
Probably.
Good day,
So
man.
Something
I
like
think he was
that.
following the theme.
Did you know that the phrase "howdy" comes from how people used to say "How do you do," and then
Yeah.
they just shortened it down to "howdy."
Howdy.
That's what they say. They "howdy y'all." How do y'all do? There you go.
All right.
All right.
Operations Exposed said thoughts, updates on Cosmos/Atom, which was my coin for the month of March. We announced that officially in 2 days on Friday. We'll announce the winners. It does not look like it's going to be. It's probably going to be Jebb with Cardano. We thought it was a sucker pick, but it ended up working out for you. You know, that's
Yeah.
that was a good
That
pick.
Dono, I told you, man.
But
Dono
we have 2
has
days.
got some work to
we got
do.
2 days. Maybe Adam.
Cardano's a great project.
I don't know how many people are watching right now. We'll go buy Adam so I can
Got
win
that Dono,
prediction.
guys.
Operations Exposed said, though, thoughts on Cosmos Atom. It seems like the run behind with some momentum and rallying compared to others. If you agree, any thoughts on why? I don't have any thoughts on why, but I really hope it does. How tragic would it be if, like, on April 1st, it gets like a 40%, like, just people go crazy, but it's on April 1st and I lose that competition?
That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be
Obi McGregor is Ewan Kenobi's brother, by the way. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Lol, get Jebb Spurs. I am wearing boots right now, but I don't have any Spurs on them.
Last one I have here, and then we'll jump back in. Crypto Alchemist said, "Hey boys, what the frickin' frack is going? I love it. What the frickin' frack is going on with ADAX? It appears that Sunday and mini swaps have control of the DEX space on Cardano. I know there was recent exchange listings, but what's going on there?"
Kelly answered him in chat and said that he'll talk more about that on Friday because
Yeah,
Kelly's been following the project more than us.
Kelly and I are of the same mind. I literally was going to answer it and say, we'll talk on Friday when Kelly's here.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, we had another one come in, but let's go ahead and go back. We'll answer that one in the next segment.
Absolutely. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about something that we want to discuss called what altcoins will attract the most institutional money. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article. Cardano on-chain transactions over $100,000 climbed 50x in 2020, suggesting massive institutional demand. You can see it in this chart right here. The volume on Cardano has absolutely exploded. And the question of the next 13 minutes is which cryptocurrencies are going to attract the most institutional money? Tim, why don't you kick off the segment and then tell me what you think?
Well, so the reason I put this up here, I thought it was interesting. First of all, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of interesting things there, but this is something that people have gone against Cardano. For example, I remember there's a video, and I don't remember the creator of the video. I wish I could say his name because I'm a big fan of hearing diverse opinions. So just because someone disagrees with what I think, that encourages me to watch them. But he showed the chart over, when Cardano was sitting closer to $3, he showed the massive amount of whale holdings and institutional holdings. And then he showed, as we declined, we had a 75% dip. He showed that number begin to dwindle. And so his point there was saying, so the institutions don't want to be here, the whales don't want to be here. This is why Cardano is not going to do very well, but no one's going to talk about this. To which I said, and I made a video, I was like, actually, that didn't even FUD me out. That actually made me like it even more because it allowed retail investors to have a bigger space. But what this article is talking about is actually when you're looking at the on-chain metrics in 2022, we are seeing not just whales, because Smeo and I were talking about this morning, all institutions are whales, or most institutions are whales, but not all whales are institutions. Sometimes whales are just personal buyers who have a lot of money and buy. But these on-chain metrics are showing it's institutional money coming back in the space, which is really cool because obviously Bitcoin is going to be king. Bitcoin will always have the most institutional money going towards it because of reasons Jebb talked about earlier in the show. It just is the daddy of crypto. It is the what's the phrase you use? It's
the king crypto.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, so Ethereum clearly has a lead. Ethereum, when it comes to altcoins, clearly has the institutional lead, but we know some of these other projects are getting attention. For example, someone even just mentioned it in the super chat, VeChain. VeChain is a coin that has shown to have institutional attention coming to it. Luna has institutional money coming to it. And so Cardano now entering the space. Solana now is entering the space with institutional money. The question is, as far ahead as Ethereum is, will Ethereum be the main project and the main coin that institutions go to for the technology, or are we going to see projects like Cardano, Solana, VeChain, Luna, and others potentially begin to gobble up some of that institutional altcoin money?
And I think that's a very interesting question, is that what are the institutions looking for? Now, the institutions Most of them are publicly traded. So when you're publicly traded, you have to answer to your investors. You have to be held account for that. That's why one of the major companies that has invested billions of dollars in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is MicroStrategy, run by Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, which, by the way, I interviewed him about a week ago. That went up last Saturday. Watch that video. It's got 50,000 views. Great interview. I think it's one of his best interviews. Michael Saylor can defend why he bought Bitcoin very, very, very clearly. And if any of his investors, anyone on the board say, why did you buy Bitcoin? He's got a solid, strong answer that's going to convince them that it was the right decision. Most institutional CEOs or executive board of directors or C-suite executives do not have the understanding of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to defend the purchase of Bitcoin, let alone any other altcoin. So what we're seeing happen right now is a transition in the institutions from ignorance to knowledge, from obscurity to understanding, from thinking that Bitcoin is used only for criminals, which the U.S. Department of Justice came out and said in coordination with the Federal Bureau of Investigation that it is not predominantly used for criminal activity. That was a big win for crypto's brand name. A lot of these institutions are still thinking, however, okay, crypto is very risky. The rest of what they're investing in, stocks, bonds, ETFs, real estate, etc., is not as risky. But as more education happens, as more big CEOs like Michael Saylor come out and talk about why not only you should be investing in Bitcoin to make a return, but why Bitcoin might be the only hedge against the destruction of the U.S. dollar, more and more institutions are going to get in. However, all of this frames the conversation of what altcoins could attract the most institutional money. Well, let's reframe the question a little bit, and then we'll answer that question. What cryptos will attract the most institutional money? It's obviously going to be Bitcoin because these institutions have a low risk tolerance. They're okay with 10% return a year. So if they can get on average 1,000% return a year on Bitcoin, or on average a 400% return a year on Bitcoin, they're going to be okay with that and say, okay, altcoins, you're great, but we've got, $5 trillion in assets under management. We don't need to go and 100x that, because if we did, there would not be enough money in the entire world to back up the money that they have. They don't need to invest in the altcoins. However, if you ask the question, what altcoins could attract the most institutional money, I think you're actually going to see quite a bit of institutional money going into the likes of XRP, because XRP is working primarily with institutions. I think you're going to see a lot going into Cardano, because Cardano has much stronger technology than Ethereum, in my opinion. It's not as antiquated. It's much more rigorously tested, and it can be proven why it works with a lot of research and research papers that have been written and peer-reviewed. It has gone through a scientific process, and I think a lot of institutions are going to look at Cardano versus Ethereum, and they're going to say, yes, Ethereum is larger. Yes, Ethereum has a larger community. Yes, Ethereum's been around longer. Yes, Ethereum was first to market. However, Ethereum's major selling point is its technology, which is a very dangerous thing to have as your major selling point, because if you ever get behind the 8 ball on tech, then all of a sudden you don't deserve rank number 1 anymore. And that's kind of what's happening with Ethereum. Ethereum was not founded on a cause. It was founded on technology, and then it was founded for a cause. But the branding of Ethereum has not, in my opinion, done a good enough job of advertising why Ethereum was created. Everybody knows that Ethereum has solid technology, and it was the leader in the DeFi space. But it has kept its rank number 1 based on tenure and based on tech. Well, tenure is not going to matter as much anymore when Ethereum was only founded a couple of years before Cardano. Tenure is going to be basically irrelevant in that case. And then if you're just focusing on the why it was created, the cause and the mission behind it, and then the technology, institutions are going to look at Cardano and say, yeah, it's smaller, but 1, we're going to be able to make more money in it, because 2, it has better technology and it's going to appreciate and grow faster than Ethereum, not only because Ethereum has lesser technology, but also 2, because Cardano is a 10th as valuable as Ethereum, so there's more money to be made in it. Between those two, I think you would see a lot of value flowing into Cardano. In the early years, I'm talking about the next year or 2, you'll probably see more going into ETH just because the institutions are ignorant. As time goes on, I think you're going to see more institutional investment going into Cardano. I do think you'll see a lot into XRP. Terra Luna, not a bad pick. Solana, a very big pick because it was basically founded on institutional money. But if you're looking at the number 1 crypto that institutions will invest in, I would say it's probably going to be Cardano if you look at the aggregate of the next 5 years combined. So what do you think about that, Tim?
So I'm still mulling it over in my brain, and there's some wrestling points, because as I said a second ago, Ethereum clearly has the lead. It has the edge. It's like Bitcoin is in a class of its own. And while Ethereum is still an altcoin, I very much understand. I saw in chat, someone said, hey, when is Ethereum going to be in a class of its own? And that's a valid argument. The problem is that Ethereum's in the process of switching from proof of work to proof of stake. They have all those issues going on. It's a very difficult process. Smay will probably even chime on this when he gives his take for a second. But I remember he's working on creating like a charity NFT and deciding, does he want to build that NFT platform on Ethereum? Does he want to go somewhere else? And one of the things you really have to think about is the gas fees. And even though our 1559 update that happened last year kind of helped bring those gas fees down, those gas fees are going back up. So Ethereum has a lot of problems of usability. And the question is, we think now at the end of this year, ETH 2.0 might be a finished and accomplished, and Ethereum is moving to proof of stake. We've even seen some successes, but are they actually going to deliver? Versus you have Cardano, who took it a little bit slower and is doing things the right way. We have other projects, like you said, XRP is actually working with banking. It's actually got a similar dynamic to what Bitcoin's got going on. So we're going to see some institutions diversify there. You have Solana, who has a similar project to Cardano and Ethereum, but just a little more centralized. But institutions don't care about that. They don't care about decentralized or centralized. So are they going to be working at all this stuff Solana's got building? It's a question that I don't know if I could give I know with confidence this is going to be it, but I do tend to agree with you, Jebb, on Cardano. And the reason why is that why. And as much as institutions don't care about the heart and the feeling and is this a good company, what they do care about is, hey, is this something I can make money in? Because that's what these institutions are going to do. They're going to put their money here because they think it'll make them money. And Cardano has such an avid community. And yes, it has its haters. Yes, it's one of those projects that you either love it or you hate it. But they have a very strong, very devoted community. The technology is very solid. Charles Hoskinson is one of the people I think is going to emerge as one of the more popular people in the entire world.
Yeah.
His personality.
I can see him being on the front page of Time one day.
I think there are a lot of institutions and people who got behind Apple. Apple was a great product, but there were other great products. Steve Jobs was just special.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is not the only creator of electric vehicles, and he's not the only person to do what he does, but there's something about him. There's something about Elon Musk that people attach themselves to Elon Musk and they said, whatever this guy does, I want to support. Are we going to see a similar thing happen with Charles Hoskinson and Cardano? And as great as Vitalik is, Vitalik just does not have that same presence as Charles. And I know that's a really weird argument to say that I think Cardano's going to do better than Ethereum, but at the same time, that's kind of how the world works. We follow figures.
You look at corporations and then you look at their CEOs, and normally their CEO of Fortune 500 companies has, if it's a public-facing CEO that talks a lot, they normally have 10 times the followers. Like, for example, let's say, Steve Jobs were alive today, he'd probably have 30 million Twitter followers compared to Apple's Twitter having maybe 3 to 5 million, because we interact more with personal brands. That's why personal brands have grown so much in the age of social media. So the thing you need to realize is something Joe Blow, too, just said in chat a second ago. He said, let me see if I can find it so I can quote him directly. How many payphones can you count in your hometown? Payphones used to have complete and total dominance, and then better technology with a better purpose behind it came along and it served the customer in a better way. So I'm not saying that Ethereum is going to get flipped in the next year, but I am saying in the next 5 years, there's a very big threat that it will. And part of the reason is not just that it's getting outclassed and outmatched in technology, it's also the fact that it just doesn't have as attractive of a brand name to it, because it really attracts, frankly, and I'm one of them, nerds who are like, look at how amazing this tech is. Well, the problem is the nerds are going to look and say, oh, Cardano has better tech, I'm going to go over here. And also, if you're trying to go global and build a $10 trillion market cap, you got to advertise to what people want, not just, oh, this is cool technology. That's why 3D printing technology didn't take off until there started to be industrial application that the consumer could use, because you can't build a company on what people want. You got to build a company on what people need, and what people need is decentralized infrastructure that doesn't have very, very, very high gas fees and massive scalability issues, and the inability to be updated and crafted in such a way that it doesn't completely collapse every once in a while. So I'm not trying to FUD ETH. My point, because 35% of my portfolio is Ethereum. I think Ethereum is a wonderful project. I think it's going to do very well. I am, however, saying you need to be careful, because ADA is going to be nipping on its heels. This is the final thing I'll say, and then I want to get Smay's opinion. The reason Apple has the best technology is because Apple has the best brand, and because Apple has the best brand of all of the computer manufacturers, the most attractive brand, it has the most money to build the best technology, to get the best engineers, not the other way around. It's not that it has the best technology and therefore it has the best brand. It has the best brand, so it attracts the best engineers, the best minds, the best leaders, and it gets the most money so that it can make sure it's on top of its game with tech. That's why Simon Sinek wrote the book Start With Why. I have never run our business the same ever since I read that book. You got to start with the brand. You got to start with why you do what you do, because people have to, especially especially in the last 20 years with millennials and Gen Zers now becoming the major part of the economy. They want to know what the purpose that you're doing is. They don't want to just go into work and collect a paycheck for the next 40 years and then say, okay, well, that's just 40 hours of my life that I don't get back and I just sacrificed, I didn't enjoy. They want to know what the purpose is. Cardano's purpose and the passion behind the founder and the community is much clearer than Ethereum. That's why it's going to give Ethereum a run for its money. Not saying it's going to flip it, but there is going to be competition. Smay, what is your thought?
Well, first and foremost, I kind of want to zoom back out for just a second, because the original question is what altcoin is going to end up getting the most institutional adoption, institutional attention.
Yeah.
I would implore you guys to just stop here and think for a second. Let's zoom out and go. Let's get out of the crypto space for a second. Let's get out of the crypto bubble and go out to what's mainstream right now. Guys, the conversations always go Bitcoin first, right? Everyone knows Bitcoin. Everyone at this point knows Bitcoin. Then what is the second thing? When you're talking to your grandma, you're talking to anybody, you're talking to anybody, right? On the street, random guys. The second thing they're going to know about is Bitcoin and then Ethereum. They're going to know about Ethereum. And that's the thing.
And they'll call it that
guess what? The market cap reflects it too. So that's my point, is to say this. I think I would say, zoom out for a second. If we're just talking about who is going to receive the most institutional investment, because let's be honest, we are in such a new market right now with cryptocurrency that traditional institutions are playing catch up in terms of knowing what the heck this is, right? So they're starting with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the most proven. Then the market cap reflects that the next one they're going to go to is Ethereum, because Ethereum is the next most used and talked about. It's that I think in terms of where they're putting their money where they think they're going to get money back. And where they're putting their money is going to be in where the market cap reflects is the most used and talked about, invested in second option, which is going to be Ethereum. And so I'll say, yes, Ethereum has so many kinks, right? But even just look at the fact, the amount, let's just look at the NFT market. The amount of money being generated through the Ethereum NFT market, the amount of metaverse stuff happening, and that's in some way attached to Ethereum. Ethereum has, at the moment, Ethereum just has the more compelling case for seeing that institutional adoption. Now, I'm not even making an argument what I think is the better project. I'm just bringing us back to the original question. My answer to that is to say, I think Ethereum is going to get more attention, right? I think that's just how it's going to be for a little while. Now, that being said, I agree with everything that Tim and Jebb just said about Cardano having a better brand and better, taking it slower, building a better project. Do I think here in the future that we'll see a flip, right? Probably, right? But I think in the meantime, to answer that question, who do I think is going to get the most? And I think it already is happening. It's already what's reflected right now. It'll continue to be Ethereum. That's why there's been so many conversations that, a couple months ago that people were talking about, well, is Ethereum ever going to flip Bitcoin? Because, as the top crypto. Obviously, I don't think any of us in this room believe that, right? Yeah. But that was a serious conversation happening. So, like that being said, no one ever talked about, is Cardano gonna flip Bitcoin? It was always, is Ethereum gonna flip Bitcoin? So I think that shows that it's a pretty powerful number two, and I think it'll stay in its spot for a little while. So
I totally agree. So let's go ahead and read some super chats.
Yeah.
Solid conversation, guys.
Let us know in chat. And if you're watching this video later, let us know what you guys think. Because this is an opinion piece, obviously. There is we have to wait to find out. And there's arguments for almost any single coin. So OG Crypto, though, gave here a little bit ago saying, considering the total global market cap of all the wealth in the world, it's approximately $176 quadrillion. What type of transfer are you estimating for the upcoming years?
I don't think $100 trillion market capitalization in the next 10 to 20 years is out of the question. And if that were the case, you'd see a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin within the decade. And by the way, I'm not talking about inflated dollars in $20, $30. I'm talking about $22.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm talking about 10 years ago dollars, before the inflation that happened following the last couple of years of excessive money printing. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button, smash that like button. You heard what Smay said earlier. I think you're going to see a $100 trillion crypto market capitalization. People think I'm crazy for saying that because we just barely can manage $3 trillion right now. But you got to realize, and I've said this many times, I said this to Michael Saylor in our interview, and he totally agreed with me. Bitcoin is the greatest solution to the biggest financial problem humankind has ever faced, which is it's impossible to store wealth into the future. It's energy degradation is what it is. If Bitcoin is truly digital energy, which I completely agree with Saylor and Smay, by the way, because Smay tweeted this out as well, then we need to look at how we can have conservation of energy. We need to look at how we can make energy systems that are incredibly efficient. In the solar panel industry, the holy grail, and take the politics out. I know there's politics around solar panels. Look at the technology. The efficiency of solar panels is like the most important number, because the more efficient solar panels are, the more profitable they are. So what we need to see on Bitcoin is how efficient is it at storing wealth into the long-term distant future so that it will be the go-to store of wealth asset. And it's incredibly powerful at it. In fact, it is the best asset in all of existence that to store cryptocurrency into the future. If you want to learn more about that, the hour-long interview with Michael Saylor explains it beautifully, so check that out. The point is, there's no competition. With Ethereum, there's some strong competition coming up called Cardano, but the thing is, storing value into the future is nowhere near as complex of a problem as Ethereum, so the technology can be a little slow. It can take an hour to send a Bitcoin. It can have low throughput, and then we have to build layer 2 solutions to help with transactability, but it still serves its purpose. Ethereum can barely serve its purpose right now because of its massive latency, its massive scalability issues. So Bitcoin is going to do very well in the future. All of crypto is going to do very well. Some of the biggest innovations that are happening in the entire world are happening in crypto right now. I fully expect a $100 trillion market cap in the next 10 to 20 years. Love to hear your thoughts on that, Tim.
Solar panels, I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish I could give a better opinion. I don't know.
Well, I was talking about the $100 trillion market cap.
I thought you meant the solar panels. Okay.
No.
100 trillion. So I haven't studied enough to give a good answer on that one. But you were saying, Jebb, just if we didn't have any more inflation to the U.S. dollar, that would still potentially happen. My argument for it would be like, because inflation is going to continue to happen, and there's going to be a day, and I think that we need to start thinking this way, but someday the rest of everybody else will catch up. We got to stop thinking about everything in light of U.S. dollars. That's a problem, is everyone's always trading and investing in crypto thinking, how many U.S. dollars can I make in this? And it's understandable why we keep doing that, but we got to start transitioning our brains into, no, it's not about how many U.S. dollars I have. It's about how many Bitcoins I have, and about how many Ethereum I have, and how many Cardano, or whatever coin that you believe is the future and is going to make you a lot of wealth, which, again, a lot of coins shouldn't be used for that, but we got to start the slow process of transitioning our brains, because who knows, 10 years from now, $100 trillion US dollars really might not be that impressive. Because the US dollar is just so broken.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I even chime in on what you were saying, Jebb. I think what people don't realize is the power of Bitcoin. I think this is kind of what Saylor was kind of getting at in terms of making it the connection to it being a digital energy, right? In terms of a transferable energy. That is such a powerful thing, because, guys, there is an abundance on planet Earth of cheap energy, right? The problem is there's not good enough systems to be able to store and transfer that energy to places that need it, right?
Exactly.
So the problem is you have these big, like we talked about in Why Bitcoin, you have these big windy, places up in the Midwest of the United States that can just be wind farms like crazy, right? Problem is they're so out in the middle of nowhere, you can't really get that energy anywhere that it matters, right? But if you could use that energy, that value that it's creating, and be able to convert that into Bitcoin, you can take that economic energy, that value, wherever you can send a Bitcoin all over the world, right? So that's where you kind of can start to leverage this untapped resource of all these geothermal zones and places that you can build up these energy generating places,
wind farms and stuff,
farms and stuff like that. Yeah. You can now transfer that value relatively instantly with Bitcoin. I think that's the power of it, is being able to actually. That's why even if say the dollar more so than if it being a hedge against inflation, it kind of starts to solve this energy issue of all this energy being so centralized. It's a way of actually being able to transfer that value around all about the globe. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Operation Exposed says, still, could we have a chart update on Atom? Opinions on sustained potential appreciated.
Well, we might be able to get to that in another piece of content. We're not going to be able to look at it today, though, unfortunately.
TKC said, it's insanity that we don't even talk about real privacy in crypto. How can real use happen?
We don't talk, well, we do talk about real privacy on the internet, and the internet is adopted by 3.5 billion people. So we've proven in the last 30 years you don't need privacy to see mass adoption of a technology. With that said, Bitcoin is far more pseudonymous than the internet, because you can send transactions, but if you don't know who owns the wallet, then you have no idea who's who. So Bitcoin is not private, but it is pseudonymous. Now, the rest of the cryptocurrencies, that's a case-by-case basis, but the privacy on Bitcoin is actually a little bit higher than you might think.
Average Joe said, coffee on me this morning, guys. God bless. Brandon Haley said, you guys do good, you do proud.
Oh, thank you so very much, Brandon Haley. And then Average Joe, did you read that one?
Yeah, no, I just read that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading a chat. Thank you so much for that.
God bless.
Thank you so much for that, guys. Well, really quickly here, I just want to run through a couple of FAQs that we got yesterday for the beta announcement of Club DeFi. So we got a couple of questions. What will happen with CT2A members when Club DeFi launches? CT2A former members, so CT2A alumni, there's about 4,500 of you guys, will get permanent pricing that will never change at $15 a month for Club DeFi. If the price ever changes, when the price ever changes, there's inflation going on, you will be locked in at $15 a month. So that is one thing that I wanted to let you guys know. The first 200 non-CT2A students that signed up yesterday, because we got about 500 signups within about 8 hours. The first 200 non-CT2A students will also get permanent pricing at $15. Now, a lot of people are asking, well, what's going to happen to CT2A? As I've promised from day one, if you join CT2A, you will have CT2A for life. CT2A is going to be staying in Club DeFi forever, so if you want to still see CT2A in the next couple of months, this transition is not going to happen immediately, but when it does, you'll be able to sign up for Club DeFi, and for free, we're not going to make you pay $15 a month to see CT2A. You'll be able to see only the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with an account with Club DeFi, and we'll grandfather you guys into that so that we honor our commitment to always allow you to have CT2A. And all CT2A alumni can have Club DeFi for free. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, can have CT2A on Club DeFi's website for free forever at no cost. Now, the next thing, CT2A is not going to be updated anymore. I promised that we would always allow you to have CT2A, but I didn't ever say that we would always be updating CT2A. Now, we were doing a lot of updates on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, but it won't be updated forever. So the updating on CT2A is going to stop. All of that effort is going to be going in to Club DeFi. And I also want to make sure that you guys understand why there's not just a full launch going on right now. We want to make sure that this is as smooth and clean as possible, hence why we're not actually launching the product today. We'll be launching at a currently undisclosed date here in the next few months. So when Club DeFi launches fully, you'll all get access to it, but for right now, it is closed. The beta sign-up page yesterday is now down, and you will be, I think, given one more opportunity to sign up for the beta in the next couple of weeks. So just stay tuned for that. A lot of big things coming. We cannot wait to fully launch Club DeFi. We're really looking forward to it. Do we have any final super chats?
Yeah, we had one. I told him that we're going to answer it a little bit more in a different video, but Zoltan said, please briefly explain some of the ADA's best tech that make you guys so bullish.
Yeah, that's a great question that we're not going to be able to explain in depth in this video.
And we couldn't explain it like to satisfy anyone.
Yeah.
Yes, however, I did interview the founder of Cardano named Charles Hoskinson, and he does a pretty good job of doing that himself in that video. So go back on the channel and see that.
We also have a video in the works that will maybe address some of that question, maybe not 100%. But the thing is, I would also encourage you, if you don't just take our word for it, go do your own research and be able to put together your own opinion. We're not here to just tell you that you should be buying ADA. It is more of saying we're buying ADA. Now you can go look into it, see if that's something you want to do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And one final question that we had here, Talhar Gulzar said, Jebb, around when will we receive an email about Club DeFi? Didn't receive it yet. We are sending those out manually, so you will be receiving an email if you are one of the 200 that'll be accepted into the Club DeFi closed beta. You'll be receiving that email here in the next couple of weeks. It's not going to happen immediately because we are trying to make sure that we're able to do all of this operationally. We're founding an entire new product, so we're definitely making sure that we are satisfying and honoring and serving you guys the best that we possibly can. But stay tuned. You will, if you are part of that, you will be getting that email. So look forward to that, guys. Club DeFi is going to be great. We cannot wait for the full launch. We've had, within 24 hours on a relatively lowly viewed stream, we already had 500 people sign up saying that they want to be a part of it. Yeah. So looks like it's going to be a very thriving community with thousands and thousands of members that are all going to be working together, helping each other as a club to continue to learn how to operate and reach financial freedom in the decentralized finance, the DeFi space. See what we did there with that name. Anyway, guys, If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. We just passed 1,000 likes. Thank you so very much for all of your continued support. Make sure to follow us on our social medias at CryptoJebb over on Instagram and Twitter, at CryptoJebbOfficial as well. Thank you so very much to the entire CryptoJebb team, by the way, because that's what we are. We're the CryptoJebb team. It's not just about me. There's a lot of people working on this thing now. It's grown beyond just myself, Jebb McAfee. And thank you guys so very much for watching. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always again. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.